1980, and for 1 year you didn't hold a camera. What was that like?
It was painful. You know, walking around the city, and every time that there was a crew working, you know, it was that feeling of memories coming back. It was hard.
And then how did you get back into the business?
Well, I started doing some writing for a Hispanic radio station in Miami, WQVA. And later on, one of the directors of news there told me that he knew somebody inside Channel 7, and if I want to have an interview or something. And I said, well, I'm dreaming about it. So we have an interview of 3 hours where I was talking, you know, forever, trying to convince them that the only thing that I want is just to play the saxophone. Give me the saxophone and let me play it. So they did, without a resume tape, without any visual show of my work. So they gave me the chance, and now it's like 8 years after.
And you've been at Channel 7 all that time?
All the time. We come from an island, and that island is very, very Latin, very Hispanic, very Afro. So all that together creates a way of seeing, you know, the nature and everything that it's around us. But then also, we have been through different cultures. I mean, Hispanics, and then the Anglos, and then after that we have all the influence from Europe, mostly from the socialist countries. So that makes a big mixture of different feelings and different ways to see the reality.
You studied art history.
Yeah.
Did that have an influence on how you shoot stuff now?
Well, I finished my career after I was already working. So somehow, you know, I was applying a lot of rules that you can look through the books, and it was just something that it was there. I mean, I think everybody has the ability to create, and what you read, it's already created, or it have been done by another human being. So you are able to follow some rules of balance and composition, even without knowing that exists. I mean, that is right there and you can study. When I'm shooting, I want the camera to be another eyewitness, another person. I mean, it's like, I don't try to make the camera or any technical specialty as the main reason or the main important goal. To me, the camera is just a tool. It's another eye to make me go through what's happening and get what I need and show the audience the main goal that is probably a message. So when I'm shooting, I try to be part of the creative team with the director, with the producer, or whoever is involved.
A lot of times when I see a piece that you've done, I find myself cringing or moving away from the television because you've gotten right into the piece. Is that intentional, and is that difficult to do?
Sometimes I like to go real close to the face when I'm doing an interview, because I want to see the reactions. I want to see if that person is telling the truth or not. I want to see the viewer to see who's talking. You can, I mean, you're not able to get so close, even when between you and me, I can't even get so close. But I can with the camera. So when I get really close, I want to show if the tears are real, if what the people are saying is real.
Are you ever uncomfortable getting that close to somebody, especially because I think your best pieces are ones that show pain or intense joy, which is as personal as pain is?
The point is, I mean, probably the way I move with the camera, and now that you have equipment that they don't make any sound. I mean, nobody knows when the camera is rolling. And the way that I move make the people, you know, a little bit relaxed, because they don't know if I'm shooting or not. Sometimes I walk around, I don't see through the viewfinder, so I know what I have. I mean, the experience gives you the chance to know what's your frame and how the people are framed. So sometimes I'm shooting, I mean, I have moments of people introducing to the group, and people coming to me and say hello, and you can see it on camera. I mean, people right there laughing, and the camera, it's another person. I mean, it's another person walking around. What's happening?
You have always struck me as being fearless behind a camera. Of course, I've seen you running through the jungles with bullets whizzing over your heads. That might be why. Is there some kind of protection to being behind the camera?
I think it's magic. When you have a camera and you think about what you're doing, it's like being part of the middleman, the people in between the reality and the people who doesn't have the chance probably to be in a jungle. Then you are responsible to show what's going on there to these people that they probably never have been in a jungle on a situation of war. So it's a process of, it's magic. I mean, you go there and you realize that suddenly you are like in a bubble of glass with your camera, and you run and you don't care what's happening. The main goal is to get that reaction, to get that tear, to get that piece of material that will make, you know, that extra mile in your piece go on.
Well, I know I'm not the only one who appreciates that facet of your work, because you've won, what, 4 Emmys now and about 10 miscellaneous other awards.
Here in Cuba, you know, sometimes, you know, they give you awards because it's part of the system, you know, the socialist system. I mean, you go to the Soviet Union, they show your film, you come from a little island, you're a blonde Indian, and then they give you an award. But yeah, few of them.
Mostly for being in other countries under trying circumstances. The earthquake, for example. Mostly
have been human interest stories. And I like that. I mean, I like to see the struggle, the social struggle. I was trained to do that in Cuba. And I just follow the same rules here. And that impressed some people here, because like I said before, our background is different. We have more from Europe than from United States or from the Western world. And it's a different point of view, it's a different pace, it's a different approach. And sometimes at the beginning, when I got my job at Channel 7, there were few people that they couldn't understand what I was doing. You know, I walk with the camera, I go in, I get really close, I use music. When I do a piece and we have a chance, we use music. You did that before MTV, didn't you? Yeah, probably. And a lot of people consider that news is just the ABC rules, that close up, medium shot, wide shot, cutaways. I mean, it's like the camera cuts the reality to support some kind of a rule of editing. When I'm shooting, I don't follow that. My camera is rolling all the time. Since I get off the car, the camera is rolling. I never set up an interview. I just get there and we go right straight to the person and we ask. We try to break the system. Every time you set up an interview and you let the people set up their minds about what they want to say, they protect themselves. They become mechanics. You don't have that spontaneous reaction to a reporter with the mic saying, why this happened? I mean, you know, you don't have a chance to prepare. You are out of weapons. You're just there waiting for and that's the good report. And the viewer really appreciates that. when you see something that is natural, that is there, that is real, and when it's something that you set your lights and you make everything beautiful. And life is not beautiful. I mean, light, it's sometimes difficult.
But if you're going to shoot that way, if you're going to come in shooting and shoot everything that happens as it happens, that puts a lot of responsibility on you as editor to make some sort of sense out of all this tape. How do you approach the job of editing a story like that?
Well, the editing is probably the first things that you must do before you do anything else. Sometimes, you know, life is not perfect, so you start doing whatever you can. You behind a camera in a rolling tripod, or you are behind a switcher or whatever. But anything that you can learn or what's, you know, around you, all the technical facilities that you can use is great. But I think editing is the main important phase of what we are doing.
How do you actually approach the job of editing a particular piece?
Well, because I edit my own stuff, when I'm shooting, I know what I need and what I want. So the process of editing starts from the very beginning. I mean, I'm shooting, but I'm already editing. Many people get used to get shots or not more than 5 seconds. Some people 2 seconds. I mean, when I edit somebody else material, I can see sometimes 2-second shots, 3-second shots, and that's deadly. It is, because it doesn't give you the chance. I mean, if you want to make a transition and you want to make a dissolve, and that dissolve might take 3 seconds, and you don't have a lot of space in between, pad in between, you can't do it. I mean, you can't use that shot. That's why I try to roll all the time. You don't know when there will be a good reaction. Sometimes I'm getting a cutaway and I wait for 1.5 minutes to get that cutaway of a face. At the end, you don't know which action you might take. I mean, the person might be there watching. It might turn. It might do something that at the end you might be able to use it dependently of what's happening. I mean, it's somebody reacts to something, you can go to that reaction, what's happening there. I mean, it gives you the chance to play, it's like a puzzle, and then you can play with that. And that's why every time that you play with that and you create a sensation and you try to send a message, political, emotional, any kind of a message, you are creating that status on the viewer. I mean, you're creating him a sensation.
People are playing more with video, things that are a little less realistic, a little less natural than the sort of stuff you do.
Well,
do you ever get tempted to play with the technology?
Yeah, the thing is, you do it in different ways. We play, or I play a lot of my time with politics, with ideology. So that was my game. Some people play with music, and then that's part of their game. But to me, from my beginning, it was all involved in politics. Socialist and communist countries, they do that. Then in the United States, sometimes I laugh, because some people, and I come back to the same idea again, they try to establish that here media is just there to witness and that's it. And it's not. You are behind the camera, I make the choice. I take this and I take that, and I take this from reality, and I don't want this and I don't want that. That choice make me in charge of the idea. Make me in the position that I'm going to show you this because I want you to react this way. Sometimes we balance having the two opinions, pro and against. But even that, at the end, the balance go to where we think it's right. Hopefully, you know, there's honest people doing news,